Hey everyone, we're going to look at the final draft, which is due on Wednesday. Here's the thing. Some students are having a hard time focusing and absorbing all of the instructions and the materials. You really can't do it without them. So what I've seen is some students are importing other ways of writing that they've done in the past without, they're kind of bypassing the instructions. So that's not probably going to work out very well. So you may see comments where I'm asking you to review some of the sample paragraphs. There we have it. So remember that the actual format is in the instructions. So it tells you to write an introduction, then a summary, and then single point analysis paragraphs. That being said, that's how you can do it. It's a blueprint. It should be easy to follow if you're really absorbing the instructions. There it is. So single point analysis paragraphs, make sure that the quote you've chosen or the idea from the text matches the content that you're discussing and that you don't put in multiple ideas during the discussion. I'm seeing that a little bit in the rough drafts. Okay, so remember this essay is graded on a scale of 1 to 6, and part of your grade is based on you absorbing the instructions. This is a new way of writing for a lot of you, and it requires that you are following the dictates of the instructions. One student, just said, well, I'm really having a hard time with this essay. And then I read the entry and it didn't really correlate to any of the instructions. So I think that's kind of the bummer of the online situation. You're absolutely got to look at it, what it's telling you to do. And it's possible, because I know this, because most of you have achieved that. So if you're saying, I just want to get it done in whatever way I used to do papers, it's probably not going to go that well. So just if you can adhere to the instructions, look at the samples. Remember, you've got all kinds of essays that you can use as samples. One quick question someone asked was, how many sources do you need? For this essay, it's just the one source. It's just, you're going to do a little works cited. It tells you how to do it. So here we've got these are the things you can. The only one we didn't talk about was 3 A's of awesome. You can do that if you'd like. And then here's paragraph organization. It's just telling you straight up. If you were feeling creative, you could vary this a little, but this is sort of a tried and true formula. The introduction, we know how that has to be. Don't begin discussing the text in the first paragraph, in the first couple of sentences. And no, don't do that. Okay. And then the summary, elegant and cool, and you get the main points. Don't linger too long on details of Fide's basket. You want to kind of encapsulate and get in and get out with a nice paragraph. And then you do the analysis paragraphs. So please look again at the analysis paragraphs, the examples, the Google slides. They have to have an original example. You can't support an idea by using other kind of general statements that say the same thing. That's not the same as evidence or support. If you have something that happened in your life which perfectly matches the content of, let's say, what Sherry Turkle is discussing, then you're going to want to lay out the specifics of that incident or development or occurrence in your life, but specifically concrete where it matches the content. So don't throw in every idea in the world. These paragraphs focus on an idea and then they support it. And you can see that in the examples. You wiggle out in and out of it just the slightest bit because you're having a discussion, but you're not introducing all sort of distraction. We're not talking to each other. We're in a bubble of our own. You can't fit all those things in one paragraph. It doesn't make sense. It's jumbled. It's chaotic. So all of the materials that you've looked at, that you've practiced, that you've used so far, should be working for you. Now, some of you in the rough draft, and I'm not sure about this, you just didn't punctuate anything. So I don't know what to say about that, except that if that's the case in the final draft, of course, that will spell doom. I mean, you do have to kind of go over and proofread and make sure that things are, sentences are structured correctly. And for the most part, a little error here and there is no big deal as far as your grade goes, but a consistent, kind of ignoring of my suggestions that you've got to either go to the writing center or check the punctuation, etc. So I've highlighted some things. So you can look at the rubric. It's going to be graded on a scale of 1 to 6. And I won't be making too many comments on your essays, maybe a few, so that for the next essay, you can learn from some of the commentary. And the other thing is, it is very important that you read the suggestions that I've given you, because then you can go, aha, I see, this is part of how it's uncomfortable kind of to learn a new thing. So that's the process. We got to kind of make it and fix it. And that's the process I use as well. When I'm writing, I write it and I think it's all great. And then I look back, I'm like, wait a second, gotta clear that up, gotta tighten that up, gotta take that out, gotta make it connect. There's all kinds of things you have to do, but you have to have the courage to look back at it and be unafraid to change it around. All right. Remember, we're looking for continuity and focus. All right. That's my video for this Monday. This is your first formal essay. So make sure you get to work on that, because, conceivably I could answer a question you have, tomorrow. Typically people wait till the last minute. That's okay. Sometimes you need a little, rev, but remember, I can answer a question before then. So check your Google Docs. From here on in, it's Google Docs only. So if I can't edit it, it's going to be late. If I can't see it, or if it's in a text box, those are not efficient for us to go back and forth in. So from here on in, it's Google Docs, and we'll proceed. And mostly people are doing just great. So hang in there and let's go. First essay. Now here we go. We're going to start writing essays. Yay. Okay. All right. I'm going to stop the share and end the meeting.